welcome to the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. Tonight here on Danny B Talks, we are joined by one new face that you all have probably seen on this channel quite a lot. Miss Claudia B is here with us tonight, along with S1apSh0es, and we have the iceberg as always.
What's up?
So, a lot to talk about. These four people that you see on the screen right now, we were all down at Talladega, Alabama for the Yellow Line 500, or Yellowwood 500, I mean.
Yellow Flag 500.
Yellow Everything 500.
Yeah. And the yellow car didn't win.
That's right.
At least the driver of the yellow car gets to drive it again now.
We'll talk about that in a bit, but I just love that I got to troll really hard, and it was great. I got so many scowls. I'm pretty sure if more people heard me, I would have got some middle fingers, but no, because I was like one of the few people in there that was actually cheering for Hamlin at the end there, and so I was like, as soon as if you watch Danny's vlog, you can see he's all upset about Hamlin winning again. And I'm in the background doing the Kyle Busch teary eyes just because I can.
Yeah, you just so happen to have started to date a girl who's chosen that as her favorite.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so you're just going to forget all about how you felt after Bristol.
Yeah, pretty much. But to be completely honest, I had talked about it, I think last week, or was it the week before, and at Bristol, how I was like, I love that my favorite driver retired simply for the fact that I have no allegiances anymore and I can mess with everybody, and it works perfectly every time. But I guess I don't know. What do you want to get started in this? Because there's a lot.
Let's start with Claudia and S1apSh0es. How did you all enjoy the race this weekend?
Ladies first. I'll let Claudia go first.
I really enjoyed it. I think if it would have had a different winner, I think it would have probably been on my all-time favorite races I've ever been to. I just think the whole race long, I felt like I was on the edge of my seat, wanted to stand up. It was just really good racing. Lots of lead changes, good amount of cautions to, kind of mix it up. And it wasn't a lot of long green flag runs, which I feel like kind of get stale, after a while. But I really enjoyed it. It's just kind of a bummer. It was another Denny win for us. But, overall, I thought it was really good.
And the company we had wasn't too bad either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be in the small minority. I didn't really like the race because there's just too many cautions. Like, guys are just being idiots. Like, trying to throw, but Joey Logano went from the bottom line to up all the way to the top on lap 18 to make a block. Why? Somebody posted on Twitter, they have a South Park where Stan is trying to cross the border into Canada, and the guard's like, no matter which way you go, I block you. That's basically Joey Logano every single race, every single lap. And there's just guys just throwing blocks that have no hope of actually working. We're not even a quarter of the way through the race yet. And so there was an article or a tweet that got sent out that somebody in NASCAR said these guys were being way too aggressive. And I agree. You go back and you watch the 2000 fall Talladega race where Senior won for the last time. Mm-hmm. There's really exciting races, really exciting racing, and guys are making big moves and everything, but nobody's doing super stupid stuff, just trying to dive bomb somebody. Guys are going below the yellow line every once in a while, but overall, guys weren't being so stupid that they caused accidents, because back then, every once in a while, a guy would die or end up in the hospital, and that was a real risk. But now, I thought after the Ryan Newman crash, guys would pump the brakes a little bit, but it just seems like they're still going out there trying to lob each other's heads off. And the racing's good. When it's green, it's good. Don't get me wrong. The racing's really, really good, but I just want these guys to chill a little bit. If a guy's making a run on the high side and you're all the way on the bottom and it's lap 18, maybe just let him go. You got a long time, dude. Just chill.
You sound like a regular Tony Stewart there, S1apSh0es.
I just don't like watching guys wreck constantly. We had 3 cautions in the first 13 or 15 laps, whatever it was. It's that's too much, man.
Yeah, very first lap we had a caution. And I looked over at Jarrett and I was like, it's going to be one of those Talladega races.
Well, I think what you're saying is right, though, and I think everybody who's complaining right now again about Talladega and Daytona and the super speedways, it's like you said, look back at most of those races back in the early 2000s, because I'd even say up to about I'd say right around the time tandem drafting showed up, you really didn't have too many of those races where the whole field is gone at the end of it. Because I mean, you look at 2003, 2004, 2002 finishes even, and for the most part, there's a huge pack there. And when there wasn't, was 2002 when it went caution free. I think the biggest problem right now is the drivers. I think, and I've said this for a while now, I think that too many of these younger drivers and over aggressive drivers want to become too comfortable with what they have, like in the cars in general with safety. And then we talked about this at Daytona too, but I think it applies here. And I think that they're just over aggressive. They try to pass more than they actually try to draft most of the time. Yeah. You see, Denny Hamlin and Brad Keselowski more often than not aren't starting crashes. Kyle Busch wasn't starting a crash. Whereas, somebody who's shown to be reckless before, like Joey Logano, or some of these younger drivers like Ryan Blaney is one. And I like Blaney. I think he's a good drafter, but he causes a lot of stupid incidents. Bubba forced the deal in there, and that's part of the reason he got wrecked too.
Yeah,
I like these guys.
His first crash, Bubba Wallace, I don't know if that one was necessarily his fault. The second one definitely was him, though.
It was, yeah. The second definitely, that's what I was talking about. I wasn't talking about the first one, but it's just these guys I feel like they get overboard with it. You could talk about at Daytona with Tyler Reddick throwing a block that he was already halfway through being passed at that point, and he's throwing a block.
Think back to Ross Chastain at the Daytona 500, a move he made. That was crazy stupid, and it wasn't going to work. It wasn't even going to get him to lead or anything.
Yeah, I watched that race after the fact, after I got home and everything, and they uploaded it on Tuesday afterwards. And I remember there was a bunch of wrecks at the end. I was trying to watch them because Jake Baskinger, I was driving him home and he was watching on his phone. I could hear it, and I was just watching these wrecks. I was like, why in the world would you throw that block? I know we're coming to the checkers, dude, but you are 100% going to wreck doing that. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's the spotters can't see or there's not enough spotters or these guys don't have enough information, or if there's, I don't know what it is. The package might be have a little bit to do with it, just because these cars take 3 laps to get wound up. And if you pump the brakes or you let off the throttle, you're done. I really don't know what to do about that, because the package works in producing good racing, but taking 3 or 4 laps to get wound up is definitely having some of these guys think it's now or never, and make some stupid moves.
I think, and we'll talk about the yellow line in a bit.
Yeah.
I think the same thing applies here is the drivers need to start self-policing each other. And I don't mean they'll come over the radio and say, hey, so-and-so go to pit road or any of that. But I mean, you look at we were talking early 2000s. I think that, because I think this racing is the closest we've had since then. And in my opinion is the most comparable. And you look at when somebody would cause a crash, there'd be somebody who would go up in their interview and immediately call somebody out and go, that person's an idiot. Elliott Sadler, Dale Jr. did that in 2005 with Jimmy Johnson. The next year, he got a hell of a lot better and went out and won 2 of the plate races and almost won a 3rd one in the fall in 2006. And so it shows it works. You got Tony Stewart. You block him, you're going to end up in the catch fence. I think we need more of those kind of drivers that are going to call somebody out, be the leader in the garage. Because it's who would do that really? Kyle Busch or Kevin Harvick maybe, but I think we need somebody else to come in there and just be like, y'all are being idiots, stop. Because I think that's where we're reaching right now.
Yeah, in 1994 when Neil Bonnet died and Rodney Orr, it was Rusty Wallace who stepped up and look guys, we're going to put on a good race, but let's not do stupid stuff and get each other killed. Mm-hmm. And we need a figure like that to show up and start naming names and just be everybody chill, pump the brakes. We can put on a good show and put on a good race, but let's not try to throw a block 4 lanes up on lap 18.
And I still have not went back and rewatched what happened with Stenhouse early on. How did he really get wrecked out as early as he did? Was that him?
I'll be honest, I haven't watched through.
I think that was John Hunter Nemechek went for a opening to the outside. And I think just coming out of the tri-oval, they drifted up and got pinched in the wall, and then Stenhouse.
Again, that was a younger, inexperienced driver doing something dumb and ended bad.
Yeah. And you didn't have this problem even when the package, was first used in 2019. You remember that race, and you had Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman and Joey Logano all racing in front of this giant snarling pack. And then there was the Kyle Larson wreck at the end, but that was a 2-car incident. These guys were a lot more careful. I think they've gotten too used to it and too kind of almost complacent, I guess, with what they have.
Well, let me ask y'all this: would you like for all three of you? Would you rather have what we saw this weekend, or would you rather go back to what we had in 2018?
I want the racing from this weekend with the lack of crashes from before. I guess if that's my answer, I'm always going to look for that little wiggle room here, man.
2018 at Daytona those plate races were pretty good because
that was good. It was
because Daytona's a handling track. There's bumps in it. You know, it's tighter. It's more narrow. You got to worry about stuff. And then Talladega, like as smooth as glass. You got 5 lanes to work with. You get all this room.
But even the spring race in 2018 wasn't that bad. When we got the fall, though, it was like
the fall was terrible.
It was like
here well, that's because everybody figured out like the what was it, negative camber or something.
Yep,
I don't know.
I think it was that.
Where the car would
nailed it.
Negative yaw. That was it. They would position the car where the spoiler was out of the way, and they just kind of like figured that out, and they just broke the game basically on that. But
I mean,
once if I don't know what they did to Talladega to change it, but it just has not developed the bumps that it had back in the early 2000s because it was a handling track back then when the pavement was old and worn out. There's a bunch of bumps in the corners and all that. And now it's just like smooth. It's like a perfect racetrack, and that kind of sucks.
and I can remember Jeff Gordon and Dale Jr. both being like, don't repave it. I like how it is now, because they later would told afterwards that's how they got an advantage. They knew where to lead people in the bumps that would slow them down through the corners. They knew how to get the cars handling right. Like it took the entire team to win. Whereas now, like, and it's not that Alabama has had a lack of weather that can really just age the track. They just did too good of a job, just like what they did with Michigan.
I remember even Daytona used to be like that. Me and Claudia watched an old race. I think it was 2009, and we would notice the cars be going along, and all of a sudden, boom, they drop down, come back up.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you do with it right now, because the racing is good, but the drivers are taking too much of an advantage of it. What do you guys rate the race? That's what I want to know. Because like I personally, because I watched it as if there wasn't a yellow line rule at the end there, so I liked it.
Right.
So I put it pretty high up, but I want to know your guys' like rating, if it's like an out of 10 or percent or whatever you want to do.
I'll say 8.5 out of 10.
I'm at 8 or 9.
I'll give it a 7, just because of the too many cautions, just guys being stupid.
We didn't wreck enough cars today. We need to get back out there.
Yeah. It needs to be a battle royale. Does the last car still running ends up winning the race?
We need half of y'all to go in reverse, and then whoever is still alive, that's your winner.
Watch be Ryan Newman. So I want. Okay, so we got. Do you want to talk about the ratings or the yellow line rule?
Let's do ratings first, and let's just get that out of the way, and then we'll talk about the juicy stuff afterwards.
Yeah, rating sounds a whole lot easier.
Okay, well, I wish they were better. 1.92 rating, which is down 10.2% from 2018, the last one that wasn't rained out, and down 34% from 2017. 3.1 million viewers, which is down 11.4% from 2018, and 35% from 20.
I think we lost it here, Jarrett.
Yeah, I think we lost him.
Well, anyway.
We lost our stat man.
So let's talk about the yellow line rule then.
Oh, he's back.
He's back.
Well, how much was heard about it?
Nothing.
We got to like 3
some.
million viewers, and then that was it.
Yeah.
And it was
it just said my internet connection's unstable. Oh, yay. So basically, down 11.4% from 2018, down 35% from 2017. But at least we beat the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So, yay. But yeah, I guess let's talk about the yellow line rule, because that should be fun.
It made sense in 2001, like when we lost Dale Earnhardt Sr. Like it made sense to do something like, all right, stop being stupid out there. We're making an out of bounds line. As it ended up being exploited, and guys would just like. I remember a lot of races in 2005, 2006 when people started like kind of figuring out the game, and you could just run the bottom and you were good. Mm-hmm. And it was like impossible to pass. That's with the new package that's kind of gone out the window. You can get a big run on the outside with tandem drafting. You get a big run on the outside. But now now that we've started calling people for blocking or forcing below the yellow line and all that, it's outlived its usefulness, I think.
Think of it like this, and from the stretch where we really needed to define what the rules are was 2008 to 2010. So 2008, Regan Smith does get blocked and to go down there by Tony Stewart. Regan Smith crosses the line first, is told you did not win because you passed below the double yellow line. Nothing said about him getting blocked down there. Then we go to 2009. Once again, we're seeing two-car tandem drafting has broken 2 cars away from everybody. Brad Keselowski holds his line, does not begin to go below the double yellow line. A block comes from the 99, and it sends the 99 into the catch fence. Brad Keselowski followed the rules absolutely to the point, won the race fair and square. That's how it was. Then we get to 2010. And we see it perfected by Jamie McMurray and Kevin Harvick. They were once again 2 cars out in front of everybody else, and then Kevin Harvick made the pass fair right when he should have, and we had a good drag race to the finish line. And that was a good run to really kind of define what those rules should and shouldn't be. And now we're where we are today.
Well, 2009 also had the 500, the deal with Vickers and Earnhardt.
That's true.
I mean,
that's true.
I saw some of his podcasts, so I'm going to try and not reiterate what he said as much because he brought up a lot of points I had with it. But, you know, he was saying, he's like, I go down, I see I'm under the yellow line. I'm not going to force the issue. And he, misjudges, or you can say he purposely wrecked him. I don't care what it is. It don't matter now. But the thing that I say with it, because I understand people saying it is for a safety issue. But even with the rule in place, look how many cars we've crashed.
Yeah.
Like
we're still sending guys into the catch fence. The Brad Keselowski, Carl Edwards wreck, which Carl Edwards goes barrel rolling into the catch fence, that happened because of the yellow line. Brad Keselowski didn't want to go below it, so he held his line and then sent him up the track. And some people got hurt. Thankfully, nobody died. But yeah, it's like just as dangerous. I think it's not like one's more dangerous than the other. They're both equal. One of them has these weird rules that sometimes do or don't get enforced. So let's just get rid of that one.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to imagine this, because I feel like it's going to take something huge to get rid of this rule. Not next year, because I don't think next year is going to be as big of a race, but the 2022 Daytona 500 at that point might be able to be sure to have all fans back. You're going to have probably celebrities there. Michael Jordan probably will be there. You have all the headlines around it. New car, plenty of great stuff to talk about. Coming to the line, Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch racing for the Daytona 500. Kyle Busch forces Elliott under the line. He has nowhere to go except up. NASCAR judges it however they judge it. Either way, people are going to be upset. That whole race will be defined by that last lap finish. Nothing else. No one will remember the 199 and a half laps that were great before it. No one else will remember them being side by side, and maybe, I don't know, it could be one of the closer finishes ever, kind of like how this past week would have been with Benedetto and Hamlin. Mm-hmm. They're just going to remember the stupid yellow line. There's races from 15 years ago that we're still talking about the yellow line from, and how so-and-so got screwed, or how so-and-so, gave a screw job on the rest of the field because of it, and NASCAR didn't do anything. Like, we got it. I want to get rid of it by the time that comes up, because that it's going to be the most. It's NASCAR's luck that it'll be the most inopportune time that we realize just how bad this rule is, and everyone's like, "Yeah, maybe we should have got rid of it." I just don't want to see that. I do think,
like, I don't necessarily mind it being in place, but I do wish that we need to establish like when it's enforced, when it's not, because I don't know. This is my take. I don't think that Hamlin was forced down there. I think that William Byron was forced down there. I do not think that Denny Hamlin was forced down below that double yellow line.
And I'm not doing this, simply because my girlfriend likes Denny Hamlin. I'm doing this simply because when you look at the overhead view, now I'm not saying that Hamlin is perfect in this, because there's some other drivers on that last lap that actually did go under the line too and didn't get penalized either. Like, from the overhead view, he's actually not below the yellow line very long. When they're going, you see Byron sort of move, and it looks like he's like about to crash, and you see Hamlin go under it. That I get. He stays under it maybe 3 seconds. Like, but like people are like, he should have went right back on it. If he goes right back on it in the corner, like he's going to crash into DiBenedetto and everybody else there, and someone in 8th that's going to win. I'm not saying that it's the right. I'm not saying that he didn't go under or advance his position. By the rule, he should have been penalized. I will say that straight up. By the rule, Denny Hamlin should have been penalized. I think, though, what I'm trying to say here is, though, that being penalized for avoiding what possibly could have been a wreck is stupid. It's moronic, in my opinion.
Yeah, just go ask Carl Edwards.
You know,
Yeah.
now that I'm really thinking about this, we saw the 2012 finish, actually. It just was a little bit different. Instead of Michael Waltrip staying in his line, not going below the WL line, we saw in this case it was William Byron in the Michael Waltrip position. He then, did as much as he could to get off the track to avoid the car coming down at him. If he stays there, we see 2012 all over again, actually.
And I see people in the chat are thinking that I'm not like saying, I flat out said Denny Hamlin advanced his position. By the rule, he should have been penalized. What I'm saying is that it looked like a wreck was starting up. What's Hamlin supposed to do? Because the way that they get these runs and how much faster he would have been, he would have just plowed right into whoever was there. So what's he supposed to do? That's my thing. Like, if this rule is not here, we're talking about a whole lot better stuff than what we got. I see people are like, he should have lifted, he should have put on the brakes, but it's like it's a split second. Most of the replays they show are in slow motion. So everyone's like, oh, look how much time he had. And then they don't show them in actual time. Like, it's a split second decision. I just think people are saying this because they don't like Denny Hamlin. That's my thing. People don't like Denny Hamlin. And so they're like, if this was Elliott or Bowman or Earnhardt or Gordon or Johnson, in this position, people are going to be a little more lenient, is what I'm saying.
Also, David Land pointed out, because these cars have so much drag and downforce, Denny Hamlin was able to make a move where he went down below the yellow line in the corner, was able to hold on to it, and then come back onto the racing surface. Because he has so much downforce, you can make moves like that. And that's another reason why people don't want to get rid of the yellow line, because guys will just be running all over the back stretch and all over the corner and all this crazy, bull crap all over, just anywhere they can run, any paved surface they'll be on, whether it be in the apron in turn 3, all the way down to the campers on the back stretch. And I think that's what some people are nervous about.
And I can see that, because that would be like absolute anarchy on the last lap. Mm-hmm. I think my thing is, though, like, 0
out of 10 race if I don't see 10 wide on the backstretch on the last lap.
I don't see, the drivers, and maybe the drivers, like I said, are different now, but I still think in a lot of ways there's still some common sense. Like, going down to the inside wall, I don't think would help somebody, because cutting that back straightaway, you still have to go right back up onto it. Yeah. And it's almost like, it basically would be like almost making another turn. So I don't think that would help too much, but I don't see. There's people acting like these drivers are just going to be like, oh, let's take it 6 wide onto the apron down into turn 1. Nothing bad can happen here. Like, I don't think the drivers are going to be stupid like that. Like, if drivers are that dumb, they're going to crash out before then. Like, that's my thing. Like, they're going to.
They're already doing that, though. Is the thing. Yeah. They're already doing stupid moves. I wouldn't put it past some of them.
Joey Logano probably would be the one to do it. Let's be honest.
Joey Logano would push 6 wide into turn 1.
I do think it's funny how, like, depending on the track we go to, there is different rules. Like at Talladega, it's like, stay on the racing surface. Phoenix, get down all the way to bottom. Go, go, go.
True.
That's like, I might be in the minority here, but bring back grass. Like, it's a natural barrier that stops guys from doing stupid stuff. Or you could just have the AstroTurf on Charlotte. Mm-hmm. You're not going to tear up a car. It's not going to dig in and like tumble and stuff, but you don't want to race on it because there's no grip there.
Yep. And it's aesthetically pleasing too. If it hits all the bases without destroying the cars.
Yeah. So, if you, I actually went to go look at the Turtle after last year's oval race. I was walking around the track. The track, the grass literally is like paved over, and they just epoxy AstroTurf on top of it. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it costs basically nothing. It's already paved over anyway. You just epoxy the turf on top of it, and you're done.
Well, I will say this. I had the opportunity, in case no one saw it on Twitter, I had the opportunity today to go visit Nashville Super Speedway. The kind folks over there gave me the opportunity to see the track a little bit more on the inside, more like how it looks from the grandstands, how's it looking right now. That track in really good condition as far as like the way grass goes. They've got natural grass down there, so please, drivers, do not try to dig into that. It's not going to work out for you at all.
Team Valence.
They you have like a small portion of an apron there. It's actually much smaller than some tracks' apron, in my opinion. But the track itself is in really good condition. We talked about, I think it was a couple weeks ago, how they were cleaning it up. They're still in the cleanup process over there, working on getting the stands are getting power washed really good. They're going to be. It's funny. I looked over to the backstretch and I saw a Nationwide Series banner over there and an old Pepsi logo banner. So it's like, yeah, we got to get rid of that.
Yeah, replace it with a DC solar banner.
Oh yeah. That one thing that they did tell me though.
Phoenix still has one, by the way. It's still up there.
Gosh.
Yep.
One thing that they did tell me, I think in the turn 3 area, they're going to be making the like the billboards over there bigger compared to how they used to be. So get the sponsors maximum exposure, I think.
Nice. Anyway, Claudia, what do you think about the double yellow line?
I don't know. I feel like it sounds like they should get rid of it. I don't have too much experience of watching races other than this one where it was such a controversy. You know, do you keep the rule? Do you not? So I've just enjoyed hearing y'all talk, you know, about what your experience is, because obviously, you know, I've never seen any of those races. So, but it sounds like they should get rid of it.
What year did you start watching again?
Do what? Oh, I started watching the end of 2016.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You missed the Regan Smith deal then. That's like the one that I honestly think that finish is like defining for this generation's NASCAR fans, because we're just like, damn finish. Regan Smith deserved that win, man.
I'll have to go back and watch that.
That's a good race.
That's a classic race watch along for the future.
There we go.
It's a good race. Like everyone again, here we go. I just was saying this. Everyone remembers the finish of that race, but they do not remember the fact that they were like 2 and 3 wide that entire race, and the racing was awesome. Nobody remembers that.
They didn't really tandem draft in that race. It was just like normal pack racing.
That was still just barely before people figured out you could do that, though.
Because
the spring Talladega race was like when people like really figured out like, holy crap, we can get a massive run, and just decided between the two of us.
So I had NASCAR hot pass that year. I had NASCAR hot pass that year, and so I got to watch like the duels from Junior's view and stuff like that. He like had that figured out before then. He'd be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get on this dude's bumper. Just tell him to stay on me, and I'll just push him to the front." And I'm like, "You can do that?" And like this is like back like because like the first time I remember seeing it was 2006 when they repaved Talladega. They had a rule at that point because of this problem we're having now. A lot with the yellow line, and also with a lot of people crashing each other. And they had a rule that you can't bump draft in the corners. And then also after the Carl Edwards incident in 2009, they had a rule, I think, where you can't bump draft at all, which they didn't uphold at all in the last 5 laps.
It's pretty much impossible to enforce.
Yeah. But I remember he did that with Jamie McMurray, end of the 2008 spring race. And with like 5 to go, they were like 5 seconds behind the pack in 28th and 29th. And on the last lap, McMurray had a flat tire, but they were 10th and 11th, lined up to do the exact same thing that Carl Edwards and Brad Keselowski would do the very next year, because for their pass for the lead. Like they were lined up. They're like, okay, coming out. Like I remember he was like, coming out of the corner, just go high, and we'll push right past, and we'll be 1-2. Like. By the front stretch, like, and now you have it now, and you don't have as much problem with it. But it's kind of crazy to me how these same conversations we've been having for like the last 10, 15 years just continuously recycle over and over. It's like a hamster wheel. It just keeps coming back over and over and over again. And eventually we got to jump off the wheel and make it a definitive change. Because like not doing bump drafting or having the yellow line rule in some places and not the other is not a fix, because people will always push that line. There's nothing that's going to fix it completely, but we need something to fix most of it, I guess is is my thing.
So
that'll be my campaign slogan for it. Fix most of it.
On that note, just so we don't spend the entire show on this, and we do have a ton of super chats actually read out here. Let's put it to a vote real quick, the four of us. Yes or no, simple as that. Should we get rid of the yellow line rule? I would say no.
Get rid of the yellow line rule?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Get rid of it. Get rid of it.
Claudia.
It's just as dangerous.
I already said mine. I think get rid of it.
All right, I'm the only one who says keep it, but I say I am with Jarrett. Make some changes and enforce it better.
I love Andrew Meyer in the chat. Jarrett 2020, fix most of it.
All right, so let me go in here. We have tons of super chats here. So first one coming in from Ghost of Saltwater, 1989, $5. Appreciate that. Yellow line 500 or yellow line is unfortunately not toast. 500 is fine by me. The latter is mostly Brockbeard's idea. GN coming in at $5. Appreciate that. Go watch a 2000 Winston 500 versus a 2010 Yellowwood 500. Modern day NASCAR drivers race like absolute morons on super speedway tracks. Yeah, fair enough. There was a lot of cars finishing up that 2000 race.
And most of the good super speedway drivers have retired now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kurt Busch, Ryan Newman, Kevin Harvick. That's it.
And even in Kurt and Ryan, probably next year might be their last year. So
yeah,
because Jimmy's gone after this year too.
Irvin Alvarado coming up 999. Appreciate that. I'd rather watch a conga line of cars in the top of Talladega with Gloria Estefan song conga line tune than the double yellow line rule. Final lap, no yellow line, as David Reagan on Fox suggested. Goes to Saltwater 1989, $5. Appreciate that again. Also, I hope Race Control likes breathing salt water because I'm coming from the spirit world to drag them down to the bottom of the Chesapeake Bay. Man, this is a new account. I haven't seen them in the chat.
Well, what was it?
Ghost of Saltwater 1989.
Is that just Beast of Metal 1989 just renamed?
Oh, you know what? It might be actually. We have another $5 from Ghost of Saltwater 1989. So appreciate all the donations tonight. I can't describe their full fate here because it's death metal album cover levels of graphic. That version is on Tuesday night's episode of The Dumpster Fire. So if you're a fan of The Dumpster Fire, you're in for a good show there.
True figure.
Rhino Productions coming up $9.99. Appreciate that. Should NASCAR get rid of unlimited overtime? The restarts get uglier and uglier. Cars run out of fuel and seems unfair to the crew chiefs and giving in to fans too much. That was debatable. I kind of didn't like when it was like 3 and you're out, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
I hadn't thought about this beforehand, but I think there should be a definitive amount. Like NASCAR fans, I think nowadays have a little bit too much of a fear of finishing under yellow when, in my opinion, it's completely fine too. Like I'm fine with 1 or I think 3 should be the max if you have to, if you're going to think about one, I think 3 should be the max. That's the right way, I guess, between what we have now and what we had before. I'm personally fine with no green, white checkers. Like if I'm being honest, I'm completely fine just going the scheduled distance.
Yeah.
I'm with, Dave Despain on this. You either make it unlimited or you just finish under yellow at the pre-designated distance. You got to do one or the other. But I don't really have a problem with unlimited green, white checkers so long as these guys don't drive like morons, but they do. So, that makes me want to go more towards like, okay, just, IndyCar rules. When we run the distance, whether it's green, yellow, red, whatever, the race finishes, that's it. So long as these guys can't act like adults out there, that's what we should go with. But, in 2000, 1999 and all that stuff, you probably could have made an argument for unlimited green, white checkers back then because, guys were worried about hurting each other, getting people killed. So they would be a little bit more reserved and not do stupid moves. But, maybe it's a culture thing. Maybe we'll come and revisit this in 10 years.
I think you're right. I think racing etiquette's been eroded away over time, especially when we have safer cars now. I mean, I think Eric brought this up after the 500. Like we have almost an entire generation of drivers out there now who have driven with all these safety enhancements and everybody just walking away from wrecks. I'm not like saying, let's have somebody go out there and get hurt. No, I'm not saying that at all. But I think some of them do need a reality check, because I've noticed it's the ones who are more old school or have had a lot more history in the sport with their families. Like, and again, I would go back to Brad Keselowski or drivers like Jimmy Johnson, Ryan Newman, that are the ones that are like, Kevin Harvick, that are the ones that are like, guys, stop, like, this is dumb. Like, hone it back a little bit. But yeah, I think it's like kind of that driving etiquette that seemingly used to be there. I think it's eroding away over time.
Yeah, I mean, if you raced street stocks and legend cars and nobody got seriously hurt, then you move up to late models, nobody ever got seriously hurt. Move up to ARCA and then trucks and all this, and like, not in any race that you ever run, not on the news, you have lived your entire life without anybody dying on the track. It does make you think that you're invincible out there, and you do things that people wouldn't even dream of back in 1995. Because, hey, you might bang up some ribs, you might be out of breath and get the wind knocked out of you, but you're not going to die. So yeah, that does change the culture and what people are willing to do out on the track.
Yeah, I mean, we have drivers who are about to get close to trucks and Xfinity that were born after the death of Dale Earnhardt, like Haley Deegan, for example. Her birthday was a few months after the death of Dale Earnhardt, so we're about to have drivers who literally never saw anyone die in NASCAR. Like, even then, you got drivers who probably don't remember anything, but still, they were alive then, so, that's my argument for that. But anyways, get back to some super chats here. Stream Cheese, $4.99, appreciate that. I say one Daytona and Talladega race next year without the line rule, and the other two races with the line rule. It'd be a good test. Maybe. Use
the Clash to test it out. Don't do it on the road course.
Yeah, there you go.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's a really good idea, actually. Just to have the Clash on the big track, no yellow line rule.
Yeah.
Just see what these guys do.
Literally would be a Clash then, I guess. So.
Yeah. Probably shorten it, make it like 50 laps or something.
Levi Scones coming in for $1.99. Appreciate that. Somebody tell Willie B to hold his line. Well, yeah, I don't know.
We'll be sure to tell him next time we talk.
Yeah. Michael Klein, good to see you, man. $5 coming in. Real racers never lift. # send it. Well, he's a dirt racer, so yeah, send it.
Send it.
That's what you do in dirt racing. Andrew Meyer coming in at $5. Appreciate that. I have a compromise. No yellow line rule on the straightaways, yellow line and rule in the corners.
I think that'd work because people are going to push the issue. They'll be like, "Oh, it's entering the corner, so it's still on the straightaway."
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm in the turn, back up.
Yeah, people are going to see that boundary coming up, and that's when people are going to make the stupid move and start knocking people out of the way. That ultimately solves nothing or makes it worse.
Just have more turn 3 and turn 1 crashes that way, really.
Yeah, right into the wall at 200 miles an hour.
I don't envy NASCAR right now. Like, I don't.
No, there's no good way to do it. There's no definitive right answer. There's going to be bad stuff happening either way.
It's also like, hey, we only do this 4 times a year. Like, what do we do? I don't know.
I mean, you could go with the argument that the sanctioning body's been going on with a lot of the changes away from old school stuff and be like, well, listen, entertainment value. Yeah. I can go back and watch an old race from the 90s or 2000 and see them 3, 4, 5 wide, one dude on the apron heading towards the corner, and I can tell you it is entertaining and exhilarating watching even 20, 25 years later.
Yeah. Oh, I seen the chat. We got Rusty is so happy to see Slap here. Oh my gosh!
I just saw that.
Did you see what Andrew Meyer put? I don't want to read it.
Yeah, I saw it.
All right. Anyways, Michael Jinsey coming in at $5. Appreciate that. I think all the safety innovations have made the drivers too confident. Back in the day, the fear of dying with limitation. Yeah, that's fair enough too. A lot of guys have just become more relaxed. Nicholas Gray coming in at $3. I see you changed up your profile picture. Got a spooky watermelon pumpkin theme going on here. I like it. Sunday was Twisted Metal NASCAR style. Appreciate the $3 there. And Kylito Newt 28 coming in for $1.99. Appreciate that. I support Denny B as a YouTuber. # respect. Appreciate it. And we are out of super chats. There we go. Back to the show.
Jump over the poll really quick. See what people thought.
Sounds good.
All right, cool. I got to pull this up, but we had exactly 7,000 who voted on the poll this week. So that's like about 14th or so best one ever out of the 64 that we've done. So 60% of you thought this was a great race. 21% thought this was a good race. 7% said it was average. 2% said below average. And 10% of you thought that this was a bad race. Net positivity was 81%, which means net negativity was about 12%, with 7 of you sitting on the fence. Good on you. So I was looking back because I got all the numbers here of the past ones we've done. And this is the first time in this poll's history we have not gotten 92% for a race. So it is the lowest of the 4 polled races so far. And then when it comes to positivity and negativity, it's right in the middle, compared to all the ones that we've polled so far this year and last. Looking at some comments, Denny Delivers is the top comment on here with 163 likes, says, Talladega, Knights, Kurt Busch. Yep, I'm flying through the air. This is not good. The account that I'm pretty sure it's not actually him, but I'm going to read his name anyway, Brett Moffitt, says, if Dib doesn't get a ride for next season, everyone is dumb. Well, it is. This got dated. He says he fought all flipping day and gets 21st. Also, get rid of the double line rule. Let's see what else we got.
About Kurt Busch, like I had just taken a picture of Jimmy Johnson leading, and I was trying to send it to somebody when they came back around. I look up and Kurt Busch is like eye level with me. I'm just like, holy shnikes.
Yeah, I can't really remember what I was doing at that time. But hey, we are joined by our 5th guest tonight, Miss Jinsey. Hey, Jinsey.
Hi, guys. What's going on?
I'm just reading through the poll right now, seeing what people thought.
This is the most girls we've ever had on the show. We're setting records tonight.
No, we're taking over. Ain't that right, Claudia?
Oh, yeah.
So let's see what else we got here. Michael's twin brother says, the Bush brothers be like, I believe I can fly. By Nat says, timing and scoring guys are going to need a police escort if they want to leave the track tonight. Let's see. Harley Race, and we didn't talk about this yet. Harley Race says, NBC needs to sort out their priorities, either fully commit to a broadcast or start to finish, or just put all the races on cable. You can't do both.
Or just be like us and go to the race, and then there you go.
Or noon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the rumor right now is that the Super Bowl might be moved to the same day as the Daytona 500. So if NASCAR wants to not have that Super Bowl audience taking up their audience, noon starts might be.
I hope they get rid of the Pro Bowl before they do that.
I think they said they would.
Yeah.
That, like me personally, I would love watching Daytona 500 and switching over to Super Bowl immediately after, but I know they're not going to do that because a lot of people will be wanting to go out getting their Super Bowl food at the grocery stores before the Super Bowl, and they're going to miss the Daytona 500. So
It's true.
Well, back to Talladega really quick. Travis Johnson says get rid of the double line rule if you can't enforce it properly. I don't think there is a way to enforce it properly. Riley Rios says,
the way to enforce it properly is just put an inside wall.
Yeah.
Right up on the track.
So Riley Rios says this may be controversial, but I think the win should have gone to Ty Dillon. I'm pretty sure this isn't the person who they say they are, but Joseph Stalin says, if you ain't first, you're last. Ricky Bobby. Happy Denny noises. Sad Matt DiBenedetto noises.
So they were pretending to be Ricky Bobby, Joseph Stalin, Matt DiBenedetto, and Denny Hamlin.
And I'm pretty sure this isn't the person either, but Ryan Newman says, I almost won.
Where did he finish? He got a top 10, didn't he?
Yeah, he got a top 10. Let's see what the final comment is. And now since all right, so positive or negative? I want all your guys' take. What is the last comment? Is it positive or negative?
Well, read us the username. That helps a lot.
Triple P Productions, and the end of Productions is a Z instead of an S.
This is positive.
Negative. It's negative.
This is positive.
Negative.
I say positive.
Say positive.
All right. Triple P Productions with a Z says, very bad take for Dale Jr. to say they need to get rid of the double yellow line rule, in my opinion. I think they need it for safety reasons. Otherwise, drivers will run each other to the grass blocking. NASCAR just needs some more consistency with enforcing it.
So that was negative against Dale Jr., but positive for NASCAR, I think.
So we all win.
Yay.
We're all winners and we're all losers. So Good for us. So what do we? Okay, we probably have time for one or two more topics before we have to go to the lightning round. What are we talking about? Nothing happened this week.
No, nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Especially for me as a Mr. Alex Bowman fan. It's a great week to root for Alex Bowman, driver of the 88 Chevrolet.
I guess I think that's probably what we're gonna go into then, if you want.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm happy.
Can I just say real quick? Me and Jarrett were talking about this in our hotel room, but silly season's way too long now.
Yeah,
Like it used to be like from May until August or September. Like the concrete of the next year was basically set. Now it starts in like March and it goes all the way through December. It's ridiculous.
It's like and Hamlin wins the 500. Now who's driving the 48 car? I need to know now.
Yeah.
Well, Danny, being the Bowman fan, you should probably be the one to lead us into this.
I'm happy for him. It is kind of crazy if you think back. Go back to 2014/2015. Tell someone, hey, you see that guy that crashed over there, Alex Bowman? He's going to take over for Dale Jr. And Denny's going to take over for Jimmy Johnson. What kind of response do you think you would get from that?
All right.
Yeah,
Can I have some of what you were smoking?
And he's going to have 2 wins.
Yeah, right.
But I'm happy for him. He's people say they want to see a driver who doesn't just get daddy's money, getting them everything they want. And honestly, that's the first guy in a long time who can really say that he's earned everything he's gotten. He's struggled for sponsorship, so there's nothing buying his way up there. He's earning everything, and I'm happy to root for a guy like that.
Well, that video that was going around a few weeks ago started going around again of him going through the infield at Charlotte and being like, "Do you know who Alex Bowman is?" And all of them being like, never heard of him. Nope. He's like, "Well, I'm Alex Bowman." And they're like, "Really? That's neat." But no, I'm
imagine like
happy for him.
telling your kids that like down the road, like some guy named Alex Bowman asked me like who he was and I didn't know, and like later he became like the greatest driver of his generation or whatever.
The sad thing is, I feel like he could still go out and do that today, and there'd be some who are like, "Oh,
Well, when he was
Yeah,
on
you could
with
probably
us,
go out to the grocery store and nobody stops him.
well, when he was on with us, he was like, "Yeah, people always mix me up for William Byron all the time," and I'm like, "How?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, they kind of do the other thing too. They think that I'm him and he's me." And
And it's like, how? You're 6 years older. You have brown hair. He has blonde hair.
just need to carry those Uncrustables everywhere.
Yeah. It's like
No, but I'm happy for him.
It's like just freak out on someone. You say me? I eat these peanut butter sandwiches.
Not the taco ones.
Oh gosh.
No, but I'm happy for him overall. Like I'm glad that it's looking like he's going to have that sponsorship with him. It sounded like Ally was like, we want somebody who's pretty clean cut, stays out of controversy. Now I feel like that's like a double-edged thing right there. They're both being like, we want someone that's really good, not Kyle Larson. We want somebody that's like really clean cut and won't get in trouble. You know what we're saying right now. Like,
Someone who won one of those iRacing races and wasn't remembered for something else. You know who I'm talking about.
Like, I feel like because for the longest time it was Kyle Larson is the number one guy for the 48. No questions, nothing, this and that. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I bought into that, but it's kind of like, no one really thought what Ally was saying. Did you see that tweet, though? I think they had a bunch of tweets they put out, and it was like a code.
That was very clever. It definitely did not make sense until they actually announced it.
Yeah, I was really surprised. Someone's like, you got to go back and look. I'm like, oh, Jesus, they're going to like show me something. It's going to say something backwards or whatever. And I'm like, oh, it actually said it.
Now there's people digging into what Kyle Larson said the other day about one of the people he's really close to is with the Eastman company, and Eastman is actually who owns Lumar. So a lot of people are suggesting.
He was, like a lot of those people at Lumar were talking to Kyle Larson about some other stuff that was unrelated, and there's layers upon layers and all this stuff. So it looks like a likely landing spot for him.
Yeah, so maybe Rick Hendrick ain't gonna have to make HendrickCars.com go bankrupt just to keep one car out there.
So Claudia, Jinsey, what do you guys think about Larson to the 48?
To the 88.
Or 8? No, sorry, Bowman to the 48.
Bowman to the
See, I mix them all up.
Claudia, you can go ahead.
I think it's a good move, with Bowman hurting for sponsorship. It's nice that he's kind of lined up for next season. Doesn't have to worry about, oh no, how is he going to get the funding and whatnot. So I'm sure Danny's very happy. I've seen, obviously he has to get all new apparel, so that's funny. So go in purple.
Yep, yeah. Go in purple, which it's kind of a shame. I know Chevy Goods meant that there was no funding there, but I kind of like that car.
That is a nice car.
And Bowman's just trying to get those merch sales.
Yep, there you go.
He's like, Danny, I need you to buy all my 88 stuff. Now he's like, Danny, I need you to buy all my 48 stuff.
Does that mean I have to get you a new door?
Oh gosh.
Some more sheet metal.
And then 3 years later, Danny, I need you to buy all my 5 gear.
Oh no!
Once again, come to ask you for financial support.
I'm glad that the 48 is staying within like a Hendrick driver within Alex Bowman. I think that he's really shown himself, like this year and last year, that he deserves a spot there. And I just, like Jimmie Johnson's been in the 48 for so long, it's just hard to imagine a perfect fit for that car. I just feel like I don't know. I just love Jimmie Johnson. He's just perfect for the 48. So I'm glad that it's staying within Hendrick and Alex Bowman for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, there was some talk of like they might retire one of the numbers. It looks like they're going to retire the 88, maybe give Larson the 57, give him the 5 or whatever they're going to end up doing with it. But I thought for sure they were going to retire the 48.
That would have made more sense, but I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. At least the 88, the 2 guys who drove it each got a win in it, so it's going to be remembered as a winning number. So,
I'm going to be real. If they change the number, I know everyone's looking at 5. I'm sorry, bring 25 back with this font. I love this font.
Yeah.
Like they only did it for 1 year with Casey Mears back in 2007. I feel like it would fit perfectly with most of the other numbers. And it's one of the most underrated looking ones.
They had it that way with Brad Keselowski and Chase Elliott too.
Yeah. So I think it'd be perfect to bring that one back. It's both old and new because it's like a classic Hendrick number, even before the 24.
It makes more sense for one team to carry the same universal font like Stewart Haas Racing, like Joe Gibbs Racing, Richard Childress Racing. Aside from the 8 for obvious reasons.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. As I look at my Teresa Free the 8 sign that I made back in 2007, that's on the wall back here. I don't think have I ever shown you all that one.
Yeah, you have.
I have. Yeah, it's still up there. But I'm telling you, bring back the 25. I think that'd be the best one in my opinion because you can both start new while still having something as like an homage.
The 57 number does make a lot of sense though.
Yeah.
Wasn't that used as a Hendrick number at one point?
It was in the Busch series.
Yeah, Brian Vickers.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
A lot of drivers drove it. Actually, I think Jimmie Johnson even drove it.
Jimmie Johnson drove a ton of numbers before he came up to Cup for, because it wasn't like he was not exactly a successful driver in the Xfinity series. And then he just comes up and.
Has he ever had a win aside from the Cup series?
I thought
he has one win in the Xfinity series at Chicagoland.
Okay.
RIP. Yep. RIP.
Was that in a SpongeBob car?
I think it was the Alltel car, wasn't it?
I want to say it was.
So it was before Hendrick then.
Yeah, it was Excedrin. He drove for Jackson Herzog, the 92.
That's crazy. He never won in the lower series after he got with Hendrick. Not even. Well, he only did that one truck race at Bristol. Was that the only truck race he ever did?
Yeah, didn't Darian do a video on that? Busch Series bust. And every single one of his starts is terrible. Even after he started winning championships, he'd drop down to lower series for a few races and not do anything.
Yeah.
So crazy stat of the day here. Jimmie Johnson has more wins in the Busch Series / Xfinity Series at Chicagoland than Cup Series wins. Chicagoland was one of the few tracks he never won in Cup.
I thought he did.
He won Michigan. That was one that he had a lot of trouble with, was Michigan.
So it was Chicagoland and Kentucky. That was the only tracks he never won at.
Didn't he not win at Watkins Glen either?
Yeah, I don't think he ever won there.
Oh, yeah. He got Sonoma, but he never got
that. Sonoma is his only road course win.
It's funny because I talk about how I'm like, man, I want to see Jimmy win because I'll be going to Kansas. So it's like my one last chance to see Jimmy win in person, which I mean, he'll probably have a good shot there. But it was funny because I always would boast. I'd be like, I go to Chicagoland and Michigan, do the tracks that Jimmy never wins at, man. Heck yeah. And now I'm sitting there like, man, I wish I would have went to Martinsville one of those years.
Debatable question here, because obviously we talk about drivers who have won at every track and won at different tracks. Auto Club changing up. Do you consider that a new track, or do you still consider that Auto Club?
That's a new track.
Yeah, new track.
I bet they're keeping the front stretch, and that's it. I mean, it's like the Roval. Like the Roval is a different track than Charlotte. You know,
That's true.
Everybody says that. Kyle Busch has won every single track on the circuit. Like he hadn't won the Roval yet.
Yeah. Fun fact though, these two girls like this. Chase Elliott, the only guy to win both on the oval and the Roval at Charlotte.
There we go.
I didn't know that. Real quick, want to go to the lightning round? Then we'll get to all the saucy stuff in the second half.
Wait, what did you say, Jarrett? We're going to the what?
I think the lightning round.
Oh gosh, there's a severe thunderstorm warning. It's the lightning
I gonna get struck by lightning
Here
again?
Here we go.
Am I?
Lightning. Yep, you're getting struck.
No. Yeah. My acting skills 10 out of 10.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm watching. I have the stream
Oscar
up right
goes
here.
too.
Not me. No. All right. So lightning round this week. Crazy stuff that we've had happen that's important enough to talk about, but not important enough to go in detail about. Bill Elliott is going to the SRX. The package for 2021 has also been announced, and it's really funny. NASCAR's like, we're going to the 550 route with everything. Meanwhile, they're, conceding defeat here and have most of the races on the 750 package.
Darlington and Nashville at the 750 package.
Yep.
I'm so freaking excited.
Nashville's going to be a perfect track for it, from what I saw today.
So I talked about this last week because I was like, I want them to run Halloween because I love the Kyle Busch Halloween schemes. He's running a Halloween scheme again this year. So again, I'm happy. It'll be on my birthday. Let's see what else we got here. This was actually Slap and I found out about this when we were in the hotel room. Rajah Carruth has been on the show before. He got his first career win in the late models at Greenville Pickens Speedway over the weekend. So congratulations to him. That's awesome all around because he's been putting a ton of work into it. I mean, we got to talk to him a bit.
I saw him in Myrtle Beach too. Like he was down there for that race.
He was.
I think he.
Yeah,
he went from the pole too this weekend, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, he's been all over the place. He's been just like you said, just putting in work, going to every track he can.
That's what you got to do at that age too.
And then, congrats also. I just looked down and I saw this. Congrats also to David Land for being featured in a cartoon for racing. I thought that was pretty good. If you look on David Land's Twitter right now, his profile right now is himself in that comic, and it's great. It's absolutely perfect. That
artist, if you guys do not follow him on Twitter, you're missing out because he is absolutely the most talented NASCAR.
Doesn't he do the Hinch Tune comics as well?
I think so.
Yeah, because I thought the art style was similar.
Yep.
Because I remember Hinchcliffe lost that race at Texas by a nose, and he made a comic the next day of Hinchcliffe leaning out of his car with a saw blade taking off the other dude's nose.
I can't be sure. I think that guy's Brazilian too. So.
Really quick, this isn't NASCAR news, but I figured it's probably important in the grand scheme of motorsports. Honda is going to quit F1 at the end of the 2021 season. So that's interesting.
Were they just an engine constructor?
I'm not sure. I didn't read too much into it.
I thought they didn't have a team anymore after Braun GP came up on the scene. I thought they were just making engines.
Are they doing this to focus on another form of motorsports in 2022? And there just so happens to be a new car.
Well, and I think they did stuff for was it Red Bull they were doing stuff for? I forget. It was they had one team still that they had that were running Honda. But I'll be honest, I'm not that big with F1.
Yeah, I thought Red Bull was with Renault.
I could be wrong. I know I'm not wrong about this one because I saw it. Haley Deegan will be making her first Truck Series start at Kansas. NASCAR Twitter is going to love this.
Well, let's hear from the girls. What do you think about that?
Good for her. I'm excited that she's getting this opportunity. I don't think she's ready to run necessarily full time yet, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I agree with Claudia. I think she's been putting in a lot of work too. So I think that she deserves the opportunity, and I'm excited to see what she can do. Maybe work her way up into the ranks of the Cup Series. Like Claudia said, I don't think she's ready for that just yet, but maybe one day.
I'm looking in the chat right now, and Ditech Cup Series said Honda and Red Bull are together right now. So
Okay.
I think the whole thing with Deegan, she just needs to log laps. That's the whole. That's my whole thing. Don't get into a crash. Log laps. From there, I think
she wasn't that good in the K&N series, East or West at first, and then she got like 1 year under her belt, and then after that she started winning races. So like, give her another year in ARCA, she'll probably win a few races and then move up to Truck Series. You know, just log laps.
So this is a wild one that I did not know about, but according to NBC Sports, while planning the return following the COVID shutdown, NASCAR officials at one point had actually had an idea. They threw it out, but to run 30 races in a 64-day period between October 25th and January 3rd.
That would have been wild.
How does that logistically make sense?
I think they'd run like 3 races a week.
Here's a driver coming to week 4. I need more coffee, but I'm ready to go.
Kyle Busch is gonna like beat the hell out of somebody after the race. It's a lap car. It's like, this is the 3rd time this week I've had to deal with you.
It's the 2nd time today you've done this.
Those are the worst fights too. Is like the weekly racing series where the same guys have to go to the same track day after week after week after week. Could you imagine if they went to Darlington like 3 days in a row? And like the same guy keeps getting in your way. Like after that, dude, you're ready to just body slam that dude on pit road and just throw hands. You don't even care if the cameras are watching.
If we had waited to do like October for January, it'd be like, okay, what's the tracks that are warm enough? Miami and Daytona. Okay, we're gonna have 6 straight races at Daytona, guys. Get ready.
Well, 3 at Martinsville on the weekend it was supposed to be, and you're just gonna 3rd one. You're gonna hear like Harvick or Truex. Damn it, Quinn! They're just gonna be going after him every week. So some other news here. According to Jeff Gluck, Mike Wallace has appealed his penalty again. He was also denied again. So there's that.
We will repeat this news next week.
Rinse, wash, repeat. David Smith, son of Bruton Smith, has been arrested on charges of assault by strangulation and assault on a female and false imprisonment.
That's some big news out there. I'm surprised we're talking about this on the lightning round.
I mean, what more are we going to dig in depth about?
He did not have a position at SMI. He had like a position at Sonic Automotive.
It's kind of like
I thought he was gonna say Sonic the restaurant.
No. It was like, is it Sonic Automotive makes like soups up supercars and stuff, but no, he doesn't have anything to do with Sonic the restaurant chain.
He might be only able to get Sonic after this.
Yeah.
The NASCAR Hall of Fame ceremony has been delayed until early 2022. So I'm wondering how they're gonna do the next voting.
That's fair enough.
Also, Michigan International Speedway has extended its deal with Firekeepers Casino through 2023, according to Bob Pockrass. So that's some good news in some uncertain times right now.
Yep.
Spire Motorsports will be a 2-car operation still, and they still have a charter for both of those next year. We'll talk a bit about Spire later, along with another story.
Wasn't there a rumor that they somehow got like a 3rd charter, but no one's really sure?
Yeah, there's that's actually the rumor, and we'll talk about it a bit. They're saying they're leasing it out to Justin Marks' team, but I don't know how true that is. All we know is
where are their 2 cars? The 77 and who else?
95. Oh, next year it will be. Now I think it's a 27.
That's appropriate. You have a Spire Motorsports shirt on today.
Yeah. Oh, and a Dirty Mo. I can't see. There's a Dirty Mo shirt too. And then let's see. And we'll talk about this in a little bit too, but Ron DeSantis has opened up Florida for full capacity with sporting events. So 2021 Daytona 500, here I come. And then last little bit of it on here. I was going to save it for the end of the show, but I think people have been asking long enough. We are now on Spotify. So just look up NASCAR Weekly Podcast. We don't have the link in there because I finished it up like today. But just look up NASCAR Weekly Podcast.
Next week's episode, we'll start having it in the description.
Yeah. But yeah, just look up NASCAR Weekly Podcast on Spotify. You might have to scroll down a little bit. Logo's in red with the current logo that we have for the show now. But a lot of you have asked for it. It'll be on there. And also within, I'm assuming by November, we'll have it on iTunes too.
So now if you don't want to look at us, if you just want to turn us on in your car while you're making a 3-hour drive to wherever, you can do that.
They're not. I guarantee that like all of the listening numbers will go down right before the Dale call comes up.
Yeah,
guarantee it. They're gonna be like sitting in the car, driving home late at night, kids back.
Then again, they might get to jam out when it's on my channel at the end of the show. So,
yeah, good point. But let's see. I'm trying to see. I don't think there's any more. No, there's not any more. That is the lightning round. So. Electrocute me, Danny.
All right, oh no, we got another severe thunderstorm warning. Oh gosh.
All right. Really quick, I guess we can talk about this before getting into anything else. The current playoff grid at this time, coming into the final race of the round at the Roval. You want me just to read it off, or do you have it to put up, Danny?
I do not have to put up. Just read it off.
Okay. So there's actually 2 that are in. For sure from wins. 1 that's in pretty much from points. I think all he has to do is start. And then you got the whole rest of them. So Denny Hamlin, Kurt Busch in with a win. Kevin Harvick basically in with points. From there, 4th through 12th are all racing for it. But it's looking pretty set in stone. Chase Elliott is plus 44. Again, they kept changing a lot of stuff up because of the finish. So if I get this wrong, everyone just, shame me in the chat. Brad Keselowski plus 41, Truex plus 32, Alex Bowman plus 22, and Joey Logano plus 21 in the 8th spot. Then 9th through 12th, the guys that are trying to get in, Kyle Busch minus 21, Austin Dillon minus 21, Clint Boyer minus 37, and Eric Almirola minus 48.
I feel like the battle between Logano and Kyle Busch is going to be the one to watch. I feel like Bowman can run good enough to not really be a factor for Kyle. Joey, though, has more of a chance to have a bad day, I think.
So I'm going Kyle Busch. I think if it's chance of a bad day, I think he just after that video he put up on Twitter where him and his wife swapped clothes, I knew right there, he's got to get eliminated now.
Do we want to take bets on who yeets it into turn 1?
Well, based on last year, it's whoever's going to win.
True.
Well, that's a small sample size, dude.
Well, yeah.
Well, I won't say my win pick then. I'll say who maybe another pick. If I had to think of somebody over aggressive, Joey Logano.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's a good one.
And I want to see Raw Gator as soon as that happens, making a controller disconnect video immediately. But what do you guys think? Anyone that's going to jump up and surprise us? Anyone who's going to completely flop?
I think aside from the battle between Logano and Kyle Busch, it's going to stay the way it is.
I think Kyle Busch may surprise us because I don't know. You never know what kind of tricks he has under his sleeve. So
I don't know.
I wouldn't count him out just yet.
He rage quitted this race last year, so we'll see what happens.
Well, that's true.
He did that the race before then, the first race. I don't think they showed it on TV. I was there at the racetrack, but
yeah, he did.
He just got mad at some point and just went in reverse down pit road.
Can we all...
you guys, I'm going home.
Oh, didn't he do that?
It was under red flag too. After Brad Keselowski led the army off the cliff, he got really messed. He got really messed up, and he was leaking fluid. And I think his spotter said something to him under red flag. Everybody stopped on the front stretch. He just turns it around and goes down pit road. He's done.
Didn't he do that at the Daytona road courses here too?
I think he did. He just hates Rovals. He just hates them.
And then he did it in. He's done it before too, at Daytona in the 500 a few years ago. He got crashed.
I'm really surprised he stuck it in at the Talladega for as long as he did, because he was involved in 4 or 5 different accidents. Kept coming back out there. They kept duct taping the car, and he kept turning laps until finally it was so wrecked that he couldn't race anymore. And I was like, "Why are you still out here? I've seen you rage quit with less, dude. Why?"
Well, no, to be fair, like last year and the last 2 years in the Roval, he rage quitted knowing he was good enough to advance into the round of 4. Now
That is true.
He cannot do that this year, so that's why. And he probably
needs all the points he can get.
He probably won't rage quit this one either because he's going to need all he can do, like Claudia said.
I guess we'll see. So, well, let's see. There's so many big. I'm looking at all these stories still. Usually after the lightning round, we have like 2 or 3 stories. There's like 10. I don't know which one to choose right now.
Clint Boyer.
Let's do it. Okay, let's go with that.
Yeah,
every time we finish up, just somebody yell what we need to do next, and I'll go with it.
That is a good move, putting him up there, because Mike Joy and Jeff Gordon on their own were so stale this year. They need a third. They do not do good as 2.
Yeah, they need a wacky third wheel. They need a DW like in his prime. They need a Clint Boyer or Kurt Busch or somebody.
Now, can we get Clint Boyer to also have a Busch sponsorship while he's doing this, and we get hammered Clint Boyer on commentary?
Yes.
As soon as the checker flag flies out, I want to hear that crack and hiss out of a tall boy of Busch.
I want him to go down and just every time Noah Gragson wins, I want him to go down and shotgun a beer with him. He'll probably be in the booth interviewing him after the race. Be like, "Hey, buddy, how's it going?"
I want to see him in the booth with Jeff Gordon teaching him how to shotgun a beer.
And thanks to today's race cover sponsor, Busch. Now we're going to show you how to use their sponsor product.
Hammered Boyer is the best, man. I think it's a great move, though. Like, in all seriousness, him and Gordon's chemistry during the Pro Invitational was perfect. I mean, it was just absolutely perfect. And if you I think I said this at the time too. See, this is the constant thing of NASCAR. It's a hamster wheel that we just keep coming back to the same points over and over again. But had you told me back in 2012 that these two would be like the best combo in the booth, I wouldn't have believed you. But I honestly think
they're ready to kill each other in 2012.
But I honestly think with this move, and this is with me being a biased Dale Jr. fan, with this move, I think Fox now once again has the best booth of coverage in NASCAR.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. I got to see the first race with them, so.
Yeah.
500. Oh, God. Like, that's the first major race. Like, I know there's a clash in the duels,
so,
but, like.
Dale Jr.'s first one on commentary is remembered by slide job. What is Clint Boyer's first one going to be remembered as?
He's going to cuss on air.
Holy, did you say that?
It ain't going to be an S word either. I just imagine that. He's going to be like his mic gets cut. And just hear
like a Kyle Petty at Sonoma.
No,
he was the in-race reporter for that race too. He's supposed to like be racing throughout the whole day and like giving him commentary and everything. Very first lap, just gets ass packed into turn 11 and then drops an F-bomb live on TV. That's their greatest thing ever.
Thinking back to some of the things they used to do, I miss ESPN when they would have an in-race like pit road guy. And then you could like see the like on board from their helmet and hear like the pit stops going. I kind of miss that kind of stuff too.
I miss it too, but no, I'm happy. I'm happy with this. My grandfather and I have been sitting in this garage watching races so many times and just been like, man, he should be in the booth. Like, he'd be perfect for the booth.
Mm-hmm.
Now we'll see.
He has only 4 races now to finish his? No, 5 races to finish his career.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it's like we've been saying bye Jimmy, bye Jimmy, bye Jimmy, and I was like, oh bye Clint, see you later, bud.
Somebody else brought up a great point. Noah Coleman in the chat says, bring the having fire extinguisher.
Yeah, Richard Petty, the king, going out in a blaze of glory.
I haven't really paid attention. I'm sure there's a lot of times when Dale Earnhardt was seen cussing on TV. I'm sure.
Probably. I mean,
AJ Foyt was the best. If you ever watch his like IndyCar interviews in like the 80s.
There's a reason he was Tony Stewart's hero.
Yeah.
No, but let's see what else we got really quick. We can. This is one I actually do want to talk about because I talked about the 500 before, but Adam Stern reported this. if the NFL has to add a week 18 to its regular season because of
Thank you,
the
Titans.
beer bug.
Mm.
Thanks, Titans. If they had, well, I mean, apparently I think the Titans are playing a game on Tuesday this week. But it said if the NFL has to add a week 18 to its regular season because of the beer bug, the Super Bowl may get pushed back from February 7th to February 14th, the same day as the Daytona 500.
That's not going to happen.
I mean, it could. It's 2020 still. That's going to be like a carryover.
They'll play the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
500.
I'm gonna go with the Philip DeFranco line. Anything's possible. Almost all of it disappointing. So I mean, it's definitely within the realm of possibility. After everything that's gone on this year, that would be like the least surprising thing.
I want to get all four of you guys' thoughts on this, though. If the Super Bowl is moved to that night, because you know it's going to be a night game. If the Super Bowl is moved to that night, do we move the 500 finally back to noon?
Yes.
Yes, 100%.
But here's what I'm saying. It makes more sense to swap the Pro Bowl and the Super Bowl. And what happened, the Pro Bowl used to be right after the Super Bowl anyways, and that makes more sense because then you got your best players that are playing in the Super Bowl. Well, guess what? No, we're not coming to the Pro Bowl. We're not going to risk an injury now to come play in your All-Star game.
Claudia, Jinsey, what do you think of it?
Well, I think that it'll probably be a big mess, but I think that they should definitely, if the Super Bowl and the Daytona 500 were in the same day, it would be a big mess. But I think that they should try the noon start for sure, because without that, they're probably going to lose a lot of viewership, people tuning into the Super Bowl, because it's just one big, Super Bowl's huge. So yeah, I think they should go with the noon start for that for sure.
Oh, definitely. Like, you'll lose so many people to the Super Bowl. I feel like if they do try to compete with that, football will win for sure.
Isn't the Super Bowl in Tampa this year too?
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Oh shoot.
Come on in, guys. Come on in.
That's like 3 hours away.
2.
From 2.5, 2.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
on opposite sides.
Because we were staying in Orlando, it was an hour drive to the track.
Oh yeah, it's like
Right in the
an
middle.
hour. It's an hour to either of them.
Yeah, I think Orlando's like in the middle, and then it's like an hour either way.
Because me and
Yeah.
Claudia were originally going to go to Tampa for WrestleMania this year before COVID happened, and we were factored in maybe going to Orlando or something like that because it wasn't that far away.
I was just thinking, I'm like, if we're doing if anyone's coming down with me and for a meetup, and we're sharing someplace, we better get the damn place booked now.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
You're right.
Oh boy.
Better get on that.
I'm
Maybe
thinking,
hopefully the place you book will be better than the place we had in Alabama.
should we go into detail and tell people if they haven't?
God.
I want to hear this again.
Yeah.
Please.
Wait, Jinsey, did you hear about this?
No, I want to hear about it. Tell me. what
Okay,
you know.
so the most expensive hotel I could find, one that wasn't like, there was a bunch of hotels and motels that looked sketchy, and there was a Days Inn 3 miles from the track. I'm like, I don't know about Days Inn, but okay, the pictures look good, fine, whatever. I get in there and I'm setting up shop, and I see the hotel. There's a floor safe that's not on the floor. It's precariously placed on like this little banister, like just this column, like a foot off the ground. It's not secured to the wall, so it could fall over and crush your toe.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Yeah, that's awesome. The smoke detector was ripped from the wall. The deadbolt lock on the door had been kicked in at some point.
What's that
so
mean,
it was
Danny?
Yeah, Danny told me that means there was an overdose in the hotel room.
Most
the
likely.
paramedics had to kick in the door at one point. I found the smoke detector. It was in one of the drawers, the dresser drawer. The Gideon Bible was still in the end table. I shook it, make sure there wasn't like any needles that fell out of it or anything. There were cigarette burns on the comforter of the bed.
Did it smell like smoke in there?
Yes, it smelled like cigarettes. There was a complimentary ashtray in the room.
Right.
It was just a lovely Alabama experience. It was everything I had ever hoped for and more.
Yeah, that
You
sounds
didn't even get to
great.
the worst part. You didn't get to the worst part.
Oh, the permanent doo-doo stain in the bottom of the toilet that won't go away no matter how many times you flush.
Oh,
Man.
And the coffee maker is in the bathroom.
and how did you keep your beer cold?
Oh, I had to lift the plunger on the sink. I had to go to the ice maker and dump ice in the sink just so I can keep my beer cold. And then I couldn't get the plunger up. I couldn't get it to drain, so I had to like take a knife and like get up underneath the plunger and like open it up so the water would finally drain out.
How many nights did you stay?
I was supposed to stay 2 nights, but that night I was like, man, it's 8 o'clock. I can get home at like midnight or 1 a.m. I just checked out right then. I was like, I can either deal with 9 a.m. Atlanta traffic in the morning, or I can deal with midnight traffic in Atlanta. So, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to leave.
You probably made a good choice there.
Yeah.
That's why we drove till we stayed into a hotel at 5 in the morning or 5:30 in the morning.
Was that hotel good?
Oh, yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, like, I'm not going to lie. The guy that was running the hotel looked like a Scooby-Doo villain, but I mean, the man even had a hunchback and everything. I was like, sitting there, I'm like,
that's a night auditor for you though. So
yeah, but it wasn't lit either. All the lights in the lobby were like broken. So like they had Halloween decorations already, and there was like a Frankenstein looking one, but it looked really real without all the light on it. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't as bad as the night before, but I'm not it doesn't hold a candle to that one. But
that's why it's better when it's a big group of us and we can find something really nice on Airbnb that breaks down to being not much per person. Because what we had for the Daytona 500, that was like that.
Yeah, but that was an interesting trip. Great racing, terrible hotels.
That's Alabama in a nutshell.
There you go.
And lots of Confederate flags.
Yeah, that too. Here's another story. Matt Benedetto saved his season or next season, and that's it. He will be with the Wood Brothers through 2021 due to finishing well the last 2 weeks. Austin Cindric will be taking over the car in 2022. I
am thinking Matt Benedetto could end up with either Roush or Ganassi by 2022 because I don't think that Newman or Kurt Busch have another season after next year. That's just me though.
Anyone other than me?
What's your takes on that?
I just want silly season to be over with.
I know. I'm already talking about silly season for next year now.
We're already talking about silly season 2022. We're not even out of 2020 yet.
God, that's right. Jinsey, Claudia.
I've seen Austin Cindric coming up within due time. You know, he's done really well where he is now, but I obviously seen him moving up. So, but I do see Matt landing somewhere else. Like I don't know too far ahead what'll go down, but he'll definitely have a ride, I would say.
I'm definitely happy for Matt DiBenedetto to, stay in the 21 for another year. But, I think this year's the year to prove himself. He's got to show why he, deserves a better ride. And, I'm scared that he's going to, go backwards, go back to the 32 or, a team comparable to that. Like, I feel like the 21 has been a step up for him, made the playoffs. And, I think he was more relevant this season. So I think next year definitely is the year to prove himself.
I looked, I think might have been Fryer or Bob Pockris. One of the two, I think, put it. I know one of those journalists put it, I know, that like every year he's been in Cup, his average finish has improved. And like, I think this year they said he improved from like an 18.0 or an 18.8 to like 15th. I mean, it's not great. Like he has great equipment. I think he should be doing better. But if he can keep that improvement going and have I think if his average finish next year is like 12th, 13th, and he's like a top 10 driver without a doubt, I think that's what he's going to have to take. I think that's what he's going to have to do because if he levels out or regresses in any way compared to this year, a year that, he already was looking to the last minute, the 11th hour to keep this ride or not, I do think you could see some regression 2022 on. As for Austin Cindric, they did say, I think they said he was going to run some select Cup races, like 5 or 6. And I'm like, what type of track has 5 or 6 races next year? And I'm like, oh yeah.
Putting the big into it.
I'm just saying, I mean, when he gets up there full time and he's, acclimated to cup competition and stuff, I think him and Chase Elliott and Martin Truex at the road courses is going to be really fun. It's going to be like how Watkins Glen was a few years with Marcos Ambrose, Brad Keselowski, and Kyle Busch every year running for the win. Like, that's going to be fun to watch.
What's the chance that Spire leases out the 77 charter to bring back the old Penske 77 for a few races?
Well, aren't they running 77 next year? Anyway,
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, lease it out for those races.
I mean, I guess they could. I mean, I know that Stuart Haas did that with Tommy Baldwin in 2012, I think it was, with Rudiman and Patrick.
They did it with Rick Ware for Cole Custer.
So maybe they could. I'd be down with it. If anything, they could even use the O2.
Yeah,
I think that hasn't been used in a while.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's a possibility. They love to use one of those like 2 if they can. I always thought it would be cool if Hamlin would have ever left. Joe Gibbs went to Penske, like use Penske font for a number 11.
Wouldn't it be about the same? I mean, just a little longer at the top or whatever. I don't know.
Anyways, back to some news, and then we got some more super chats. So,
okay, how about this one, Slap? I know you'll like to talk about this one. So about the repaving and reprofiling of Atlanta Motor Speedway. So what they said is Atlanta Motor Speedway probably still will be 1.5 miles, but may include a reprofiling as of its layout. And they will be testing this and all the proposed changes that they might do with iRacing over the next year. So I'm wondering, are they going back to the old layout? Are they going to be like Texas and Kentucky and just completely kill the track, or what?
Well, I would hope third time's a charm, and they realize that doing these tri-ovals, quad ovals, knocking down the banking in one turn doesn't really work. It's a novel idea, but I remember I was a kid in the 1997 when they brought in Texas and they reconfigured Atlanta and they were all quad ovals. And I remember asking my parents, I was like, why did they make it all look like Charlotte? Why? Like, to the average person watching, it just looks like the same racetrack. And I know they're different. The radius of the turns is different. The transitions are different. They drive different and all that. But to the average person to the average person watching, it's just the same racetrack time after time. I hope they go back to the old configuration, because it seemed like it always produced good racing. I know they've repaved it so many times. I hope they didn't do like what they did with Talladega, where they make it like super smooth and it stays super smooth and it doesn't get bumps over time. Because if you ever watch like early 90s races at Atlanta, that's a really bumpy track. And that's what made it as good as it was. So I'm excited to see what they do with it. I know they're going to make like a casino out there and all this other crazy stuff. So it'll be a pretty good venue to go visit, even if they end up screwing it over somehow. It'll at least have a casino and some other cool stuff going on.
What do you think? Because I realize I've talked to that.
I'll let the girls talk on this. I feel like we haven't heard much from them so far.
I think it's crazy that they were so far advanced that you can use iRacing to test that. I feel like there's obviously, it has to feel a little bit different in real life, obviously, but I just think that that's crazy that they use iRacing to kind of feel that out. But I don't know if they're going to make the right decision with it. So, but that's not in my hands. So I don't know.
Hopefully it's a good change. I'm hoping it is, because it seems like it's just like another 1.5 mile track, so I'm ready to see a change and see, if it makes it better or not.
Now, I don't know if everyone here has been to Atlanta at least one time, but me and Claudia went there in 2018, and personally, we kind of felt like it was one of the more meh experiences we had going to a race. I didn't feel like there was a lot to do on the outside.
Well, I don't know if that was, because it was raining or just because it's truly like that, but I know the outside of the track experience sucked. It was like nothing to do, like a typical NASCAR track is.
Well, I went in 2009, right when they got rid of its spring race and they pushed it to Labor Day weekend. And I remember on the radio, I think it was MRN, they said it was like somebody put up a county fair and just so happened a race broke out, because they brought in like all these carnival rides and stuff, and it was like really cool. And they really like leaned into this. This is our one race a year, so we got to make a good impression. And they just kind of petered off from that.
Yeah, that's what Chicagoland did too. Because like the last year they had it, I remember there was a Ferris wheel the whole weekend. And
Even during the thunderstorm.
I ended up starting a controversy on Twitter because I took a picture and you see lightning in the background and there's people up on the top of the Ferris wheel and stuff.
Gosh.
I'm just like, are you kidding me, guys? Like, because I mean, the storm was rolling like on its side and it was bad. But no, I'm not surprised by that. Like the way that tracks have been adding so much stuff on the outside now. Like, what track was it that we went to? What was it? Was it Bristol where they had like a truck ride where you could go on like this like dirt track or something like that outside the track?
Yeah, Bristol.
That's hosted by Toyota. They do a monster truck, and then they'll demonstrate the Tundra, the Tacoma, the 4Runner. They'll demonstrate all that stuff for you.
Yeah, on that like kind of dirt thing that you can go on it's almost like an off-roading kind of thing too.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. If you go to Bristol, definitely check out the folks at Toyota.
Yeah, there's a Toyota dealership in Greenville that actually has like an off-road course, and they have like this big like hill, and you can take a Tundra and like drive it up this big hill and get to the top of it, and then drive it down. It's got all these rocks on it, so the whole car like undulates as it drives back down.
I wish the dealership I worked at did that. Golly, that'd be all I do. I'm like, forget selling cars. I'll just do that job, guys.
No, a lot of fun.
I'd end up crashing it probably because I'm telling you, I like going fast, even though it means I crash it. No, but I'm looking at this, and I think the only two options you can go with it is go with either the old Atlanta or stick with what you got. Like that's my deal here. Like both tracks are good. The current Atlanta is really good, but at the same time,
plus the date. The date matters a lot. I know they changed it, but for the longest time, those races at Atlanta, it was always too cold because it was either in early March, late February, or the ass end of November. And it like those races routinely got snowed out, not rained out, snowed out. And I remember that as a kid. I was just like, why don't they move this race somewhere else where it's warmer, where they don't have to worry about that? Because that area of Atlanta is like in the southernmost spot where all those snowstorms that work their way down the East Coast. That's the last place it hits, right down there in Hampton, Georgia.
I mean, with what they're doing right now, if you look at 2022, because 2021 they have the Olympics again, so they're doing that 2-week break. But you take that break away, and then it all depends on what else they might add in, or maybe they'll make a doubleheader or something with another race. But they'll be definitely ending, last week of or second to last weekend of October, probably in 2022, unless they move everything down to avoid the Super Bowl or something.
I wouldn't be surprised if 2022 saw 2 more tracks added to the regular season.
Oh, I think Gateway totally is.
I would say Gateway, and if the demand at Nashville is big enough, they could even get a second date.
I see in the chats people are asking about the poll. We already did it earlier, but I think a perfect thing for Gateway is it's right in the middle between like Kansas and Bristol. It's an area, a city with St. Louis that we well just outside of, but in the St. Louis area that really hasn't been a market that's been explored yet. And on top of it, it's one of only 2 NASCAR like run tracks left in Illinois now with the demise of Chicagoland, unless Chicagoland makes a miraculous recovery, but it's just that. And then Rockford Speedway, that's right up the road for me. So
I guess I didn't think about 2022 being a chance to bring Kentucky and Chicagoland back into it.
Kentucky, I could see happening. I think what they need to do with Kentucky is either make that baby a short track or make it a super speedway.
Kentucky
or something.
Super Speedway. I'm just saying.
I see in the chat they're doing NASCAR on whatever, and the one that's making me laugh right now is NASCAR on C-SPAN.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, that'd be pretty funny, man. No, but I agree with you. But as for the Atlanta thing, I'd say either keep it the same if you're not going to go back to the old layout.
All right, real quick, I want to go through and give some shout-outs to some people who gave super chats again. Appreciate this. $4.99 coming in from Levi Scones. With some unknowns, Jones and LaJoy left in the silly season, where are you hoping these two go? Any Xfinity or truck predictions for next year? I have no clue about Xfinity or truck predictions right now. As far as Jones, I'm saying probably to the 96. LaJoy probably to the 37 if Ryan Preece goes away. That's my guess on those two.
I saw a rumor that Priest might sign back with the 37 again.
And I don't really know about LaJoy, but Jones, I definitely see him staying in Toyota and go up to 96. GN coming in at $5. Appreciate that. Who had this on their 2020 NASCAR bingo card? Tennessee Titans threatened to postpone the Super Bowl to the same day as the Daytona 500. Thank you, Tennessee Titans. And this is supposed to be our best year in quite a while, too. Mr. Awesome 04 coming in at $4.99. Appreciate that. Breaking news. Boyer retiring from full-time racing. Check Instagram. Yep, we saw that. Michael Jinsey coming in at $5. Based on the truck and Xfinity race, caution should have flown with cars crashing on backstretch after white flag, so Matty D should have won. I agree on that. They threw the caution out pretty early in the other two. Was surprised that because I think they said it was for a head-on collision. I can't remember if Cody Ware's crash was head-on, but he definitely did crash. So definitely kind of a surprise there. Keegan Schneider coming in at $5. Appreciate that. Not to mention the Super Bowl is in Tampa, so the ticket sales for the Daytona 500 could be down from locals if it is run the same day. Agreed. GN coming up $2. Appreciate that. Where's Eric Estep, the epic bass player? He does play an epic bass. He had a family thing come up, so unfortunately he couldn't be with us tonight, but he'll be back on next week. Michael Jensen coming in at $5. Appreciate that. Look for James Davison and Michael McDowell. Supposed to rain all race, and they have extensive rain road race experience. Those two could definitely be dark horses this weekend. Keep an eye on those two. Ghost of Saltwater 1989. Wow, you're coming in big time today. $5. Appreciate that. Hopefully we won't see the off-track equivalent of Boyer's almost season-long harassment campaign against Gordon in 2012. I feel like they're going to bring that up a ton when they're together. You know it's going to happen.
I hope so.
G-Wiz of the Stars coming to $10. Appreciate that. Would love to hear some brief thoughts on y'all's opinion on the All-Star race moving to Texas, and where would you like to see it travel to in the future? I kind of like the idea of it rotating between SMI tracks for the time being. Maybe be it like, I don't know, New Hampshire next year or something like that, something a little bit different. Texas, gotta make old Eddie happy up there, but it's going to be pulling teeth to get him to let go of it next year, though. So maybe my idea of rotating won't happen if Eddie Gossage has anything to say about that. What do you guys think?
Go for it.
I like the rotation. I think that's kind of cool, to see it go around to different tracks. So I'm all for that.
Yeah, I like the rotation too. I think it kind of spices it up each year, and it kind of keeps it more exciting. So I agree.
I'm going to put in my formal endorsement right now, putting it at Martinsville and leaving it there. Put it at Martinsville. It'll be great.
SMI won't allow that. That's against the law.
Well, maybe we need to take over SMI. NASCAR. Wink, wink.
Jason Straight coming in at $4.99. Appreciate that. Let's have Daytona 500 on Monday night again. If the Super Bowl changes, I think it'd become welcomed again if necessary. Not a bad idea.
No, knowing NASCAR's luck, the Super Bowl would be postponed on Monday.
Oh, yeah. Like, they go ahead and make that decision. Oh, yeah, so we can't play until tomorrow night?
Why? Because NASCAR isn't racing today.
All right, but that is all the Super Chats so far. I appreciate everyone for the support to the channel. It really does mean a lot to us.
I'm loving all these in the chat. I'm sorry, these NASCAR on whatever. That needs to be a new meme. There's like NASCAR on BBC, NASCAR on Adult Swim, NASCAR on like my channel. I like this. NASCAR on WWE Network.
NASCAR on The Price is Right.
NASCAR on OnlyFans.
Oh, gosh.
Next story. Justin Marks announces his new team, Team Trackhouse, with Daniel Suarez driving, I believe, the number 99 RCR-powered Chevy. Ty Norris will be running operations. And according to Jenna Fryer, Spire has leased a charter to Trackhouse. And apparently they're putting a lot of money into this. They want to be a playoff caliber team year one.
Every time I hear that name, I keep thinking track horse for some reason.
What do you guys think? How do you think Suarez will be doing next year?
I'd say about the same as he did in 96, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't see a fresh new team coming out of the box and being top 16 right out of the gate.
I don't think they're going to be like a Rick Ware Racing and be never relevant, really. But I don't think that they're going to be, as good.
They'll be like Go Fast Racing, I think.
Yeah.
On that level.
They'll have a good start for a freshly started team. Well, then you got Michael Jordan Racing, and that's going to be better probably.
Yeah, I don't see that team making the playoffs year one,
I could see them being a top 25 contender maybe by the end of the year. But yeah, I agree. I think they'll do a little bit better than Suarez has been doing this year, but I don't see any miracles happening.
Well, if they make the Daytona 500, they're already doing better than Suarez has already.
Good point. Good point.
And which are they gonna have to worry about? Don't they have a charter from somebody?
Yeah, they got a charter from Spire. Spire's leasing one of their 3 charters.
Okay, so they are good. They won't have to worry about it then.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm looking at it, and the first thing that popped in my head, is, wow, they got a car out there before the money team. I'm sorry.
The money team on Liars, Thieves, and Lawyers Part 3. I'm doing it.
I'm sorry. Until I see a car on track, I'm going to meme them every time there's a new team.
Slap, are you going to have anything to make a video on? What is it going to be, 2 minutes?
It won't be the headliner of that video. It will be like like you said, like a 2-minute little bit in there. Because at first we thought Floyd Money Mayweather was like putting money into the team. I was like, no, they just leased out his name, his nickname, the Money Team.
I know for a fact
that was it. He has no affiliation with the team whatsoever.
We are not long until the 1-year anniversary of us hearing about them, because it is exactly the day before me and Claudia's 1-year wedding anniversary, because we found out literally the day before my wedding that they were going to be a thing.
We found, you, me, and Darian found out in Waffle House waiting for our food. Yep. Or did we already have it at that point?
We were waiting on food.
We're like, this can't be real. This cannot be real. And it's like, it looks kind of real, because I think, Danny, you were the one that found it, right?
Yeah, it's like they hit publish on their website or something too quick or something.
Yeah, meanwhile, like Darian and I are sitting there like, this can't be real right now, man. Like that, oh my God, that looks real. And I mean, like I said, I saw them at the 500 this past year. Like I saw some of them and got to talk with some of them, and they seemed like they were ready to go. But I think with the beer bug coming in, that's kind of ended it. But
who do we think will be their driver if they actually show? Because I'm thinking AJ Allmendinger for some reason.
I'll go Allmendinger. Let's see, who's someone that can bring sponsorship money, because you know for a fact that they're probably going to need more money.
Do they still do a past champions provisional?
They might.
I don't think so.
I mean, they won't
with the charter
need
system.
it.
I don't think they do that anymore.
They won't need it either, just because usually only 40 cars or less show up. But why are you asking? Who are you thinking?
Kurt Busch.
I didn't think about that.
If the money's right.
I mean, they are the money.
If they hand him $1 million check and it don't bounce, I mean.
Be like, yeah, give me the check, I'll cash it, and then I'll sign if you have it.
Yeah.
Oh, Denny delivers. He brought back a meme from the last time you were on Jinsey. Denny delivers says NASCAR on S1apSh0es Twitter account.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Cherie.
Okay. I'll have to read this one because it was a super chat coming in. $4.99 from Irvin Alvarado. NASCAR on Crunchyroll on ISC tracks and Funimation if it's SMI tracks. Sub/dubs on demand.
Man, I'm like, I don't know why this meme started up, but I love it. So I guess we have one more story before we go. Yeah, I believe one more story before we go into picks for this week. So this one's from Adam Stern, and I think it shows a lot who really has the power of scheduling in the sport right now. According to his report, Fox Sports pushed NASCAR to put more races on Sunday afternoons in 2021, since those windows get 30 to 40% more viewers than a midweek race or than night races. They get a lot more viewers than them too. So I'll ask you guys, are you I want to hear from all you. Are you happier or sad that we're getting less night races this week, and it looks like midweek racing is not going to be working out?
I'm fine with no midweek racing. I think this year proved that it was not really a good idea, but at least we had this year to try it out.
It's true.
I think the ratings are terrible for midweek races, but I like having, one during the season, because I always think it's neat to be at work and be like, oh, looking forward to the race, when I get home from work. It's like something kind of cool to turn on, and, but I think majority of the races definitely work on Sundays,
So I like attending night races. just because, you know, in the summer, like I liked Kentucky just because in the summer months, there's not many night races and you get to enjoy it without being out in the extreme heat. So I enjoy attending night races, but I could see where the ratings kind of fall down a little bit because there's times where people, you know, they go out at night on weekends and they just can't watch the races. So I can definitely see where night races aren't so successful, but I kind of agree with Danny. I'm glad that we, with the midweek races, that we were able to test those out this year. And I kind of agree with Claudia too. I like to getting off work and being able to come home and look forward to a race and watch it. And so I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed about it, but I can see where they do lack viewership for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a novel idea. It was worth giving a shot. We had the opportunity to do it while there's literally no other sport out there except, you know, the UFC, but they don't do midweek stuff. And with no competition, the numbers were still down like 40-50%. So that was like definitive, like, all right, that's not going to work. So we got a clear answer. At least we didn't go like full on into it going into 2021, you know, headlong into our assured destruction. We at least know that doesn't work out.
It's funny. Midweek All-Star Race brought on a noon start time for the podcast this year.
That's right. I'm going to throw it back to something I used to do on my channel. I'm going to be a little bit of a devil's advocate for only one thing on midweek racing. Because I like Sunday afternoons. I've been pushing that they shouldn't be doing night races because they're always bad in ratings.
Bowman Gray.
That would be an exception. But I will play devil's advocate here. I think there's one race that you can do as a midweek race every year, and there's a specific time you can do it, but you need to promote the absolute living hell out of it. And that's something that NASCAR didn't do with any midweek races this year. They did not promote them whatsoever. And I think that added in. Like their promotion all went into like the Daytona 500 and the first race back. And then they're like, yeah, okay, we're good. The All-Star race. I think the All-Star race can be a midweek race. And I'm going to bring up an idea that Matt Weaver had when he was on with us. Make the All-Star race a midweek race right after the MLB All-Star game, because that day after there are no sports on whatsoever. Promote the hell out of it. Put it on, because I think it's in the contract that Fox Sports gets the All-Star race. Put it on Big Fox. Like, even if that means that you have to have one of the points races, because I think that if you promote it right, you'd be able to get a bigger audience, but only as once a year as a big, important thing. And I only say this too, well, I say this also for another reason, is it helps you condense the schedule like you want to do. You don't have to condense a bunch of the other stuff and points races and stuff.
Something cool that you could do as well, have a very popular NASCAR driver throw out opening pitch at the MLB All-Star game, and then have a very popular baseball player wave the green flag at the All-Star race.
They're both on Fox, right?
I think so.
I would love that. Yeah, have I'm trying to think. I mean, you could have like Elliott or Blaney throughout the first pitch because they're like a popular younger driver, and then have like Chris Bryant or Anthony Rizzo come out and wave the green flag at Bristol for the All-Star race.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea right there.
I'd love it, especially if I got to meet one of them.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure my mother would be telling me that I'd have to bring her if Anthony Rizzo was going to be there. And I would definitely, because that would be awesome. But I guess if anyone, has any objections or wants to go on to the last segment here, because Danny, what segment's the last segment we do of the night?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a thing here on this channel for the podcast where we do race picks. Race picks, what do we do here? We got to determine three things. First thing is who's going to suck in this race this weekend at the Roval. Next thing is who's going to be our underdog at the Roval this weekend. And third, who is going to win the Roval. Jarrett,
who's going to win? Oh, we're starting with me?
Yes, I'm starting with you, bud.
All right. And remember, everybody in the chat, we're going to get your consensus pick on each of these. So while we're all saying our picks for who's going to suck, tell me, because I pretty much leaked my suck pick earlier. It's Kyle Busch, just for that video.
I'm going to hop in here and be second, and I am also going to agree with Jarrett. It will be Kyle Busch sucking it up this weekend. Slap, on to you.
The last time I picked this guy, he got the coronavirus, Jimmy Johnson.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, I picked him. And they were like, "Who you got gonna suck at the Brickyard?" I was like, Jimmy Johnson's gonna break everybody's hearts. He ended up not even making the race because he got the Rona.
Claudia.
I'm gonna go Kyle Busch, but doesn't he have 2 DNFs here?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely him.
Rage credit both times.
Did he really?
Yep. Jinsey.
I think Eric Jones is going to suck at the Roval.
Eric, if you're listening, I'm kind of laughing on the inside right now.
Eric, you said that is right.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be real. The chat has spoken. It's Kyle Busch. Like, geez, this is the biggest landslide victory anybody has had in the chat so far when we've done this, and it's Kyle Busch by a country mile. Oh my! I'm just scrolling through, and all it is Kyle or KFB or Kyle Busch. Literally, like, just if you have the chat up right now, like any of you have the chat up right now, all it is Kyle Busch.
Yeah, I saw it. It was like every other message was Kyle Busch suck, Kyle Busch suck, Kyle Busch.
They wanted their opportunity. So, we're just going the same order, aren't we?
Yeah, same order. Going on to underdog, starting to few Jarrett.
I'm going with this guy because I really liked what he did at the Daytona road course. This team overall has surprised me by their overachieving this year as an organization as a whole. He is borderline a top 20 driver this year, and I think that this could be a chance for him maybe to sneak out a top 5 or even a win if stuff goes right. I'm going with Michael McDowell.
Okay, fair enough.
Chat, leave your stuff when you come up with it.
And I am going with a guy who, although he did not have the opportunity to race at the Daytona road course, the guy who subbed for him had a really good run, and this is going to be his swing for the fence race. I am saying that Austin Dillon will be the underdog for this one too. Need a good day, needs a win. We'll see if he can get that.
I'm going to go with Matt DiBenedetto. He's mad that he didn't get the finish he deserved at Talladega. He's also happy that he's got another year with the Wood brothers. I think our chemicals are mixing together well. I think he's going to show up and have a good race.
See, this is why I don't say my pick before I get on the show, because Danny literally stole the words out of my mouth. I told him at dinner, I said, okay, I'm going with Austin Dillon. I think he'll be swinging for the fences. And what do you know he says?
I can't help that we're married and we think alike.
Yeah, okay, but I literally told you he was. I think he was going to swing for the fences. You know,
I was thinking that before you told me. So
okay. Anyways, but yeah, that's who my pick is. But yeah, he has to win. He hasn't done well here. I just think that he's going to just try to do a personal best, try to get in the round of 8.
All right, I'm going to go with Ty Dillon just because he ran pretty well at Talladega. This past Sunday, so I will go with Ty Dillon.
All right, fair enough.
Because I'll go with a different Austin or the different Dillon brother. So
the better one.
Oh, hot take.
Woo! 3 wins wants us to have a word of you.
Yeah, 3 wins at either plate tracks or the new package where anybody can win.
I hope Sloppy's watching right now.
One of them was a field mileage race in the 600. So.
Yeah, okay.
That doesn't help anything. Actually, you're right. One was a super speedway. The other 2 were definitely fuel games.
Man, I hope Slappy's watching right now. The chat had an early lead for McDowell, but it quickly switched to Jimmy Johnson. I have a feeling Jimmy Johnson's going to be the chat's take for a lot of picks the rest of the season.
That's fair enough. I mean, you'd look back to the first Roval, and I don't really remember him much in last year's Roval, but the first one definitely.
that was wild.
And I guess that leaves one round left. Who's going to win? So, chat, leave who's going to win while we do this.
I have a good feeling who a majority
I'm going to pick.
Who a majority of this group is going to say, and who the chat is probably going to say.
Well, I get to at least lay out the stats first. So far he's finished 6th and 1st in his Roval races. He is winning 3. He has won 3 consecutive road course races. The last 3 road course races we've had. And he's probably just going to get better over time. I made a video about him today. I'm going Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott, I think, is going to win this race.
Well, that's fair enough. Chase Elliott does have an average finish of 3.5. However, he does have a teammate who has an average finish of 3rd. And yeah, he just got some big news about where he's going. He's going to carry that momentum, get the win. Alexander Bowman.
Woohoo! The meme is back. I love it.
The funniest thing was seeing what Jarrett was doing the whole time you were saying that.
Yes.
I love hyping it up, especially when it's something other than underdog or suck, because he gets excited even when I say he's going to suck. And
because for people who don't know, as I've been shaking the table, I'm so excited. The first year we did this, Danny picked Bowman for either underdog or win every single week. It was amazing. It was great. And every time he says it now, I just get excited. I love it. I mean, it's kind of like how I used to pick Kevin Harvick every week.
And I think there was one time I was able to fake him out and I picked like Chase Elliott or something like that.
I know, and I was so disappointed. I'm sitting there like, yes.
I think Chase is going to be hard for Bowman to beat, but they're both going to have good cars this weekend.
I'm going to go with Brad Keselowski. We're going for 2, baby. We're going for 2.
The Tom's Hartberg turn would like to have a word with you.
Hey, small sample size. We're only 1 out of 2. But those Penske cars are usually pretty good at the Roval. Brad Keselowski, he's got a pretty comfortable lead over the cutoff line, but he might want that extra security. So we'll see. We'll see what he ends up doing. Hopefully, he's learned from his mistakes and won't just yeet off into turn 1 and take everybody with him.
All right, Claudia and Jinsey, I think you two might be able to answer at the same time, but I'm not sure.
I would say, yeah, you know who I'm going with. My guy, Chase Elliott.
I'm right there with her. Chase Elliott. That's who I think will win the Roval.
So we're pretty well determined that a Hendrick guy's winning this weekend.
Well,
we're out of 5 on the panel.
The chat, a big early lead for Chase Elliott, but he did get a worthy challenger in Timmy Hill. But Chase Elliott is the chat's pick this week. So, wow. I'm just looking at it. When's the last time we've had 4 people pick the same driver to win? This month, see, if we had the show back in like the early 2000s, this would have been what it would be like going to the 600 with Jimmy Johnson or going to a plate track with Dale Jr. Like,
yeah.
I'm just looking though. The chat is like half of it is Chase and half of it is Timmy Hill, and then there's a Brendan Gaughan.
Speaking of picks here, we have our good friend Steve Castaneda coming in at $5. Appreciate that, man. His picks: Xfinity, Cindric, yeah, probably. Suck, Kurt Busch, underdog, Bowman, winner, Chase Elliott. Fair enough. That's good picks right there.
The whole chat is Timmy Hill now.
I'm surprised nobody mentioned like Truex. Like Truex might snooker a win here. Like he's been good at road courses. You know, he's usually chasing Chase Elliott. So maybe he'll be able to get the win away here.
Look, guys, Scott Dixon got a vote.
Oh God. So real quick, Danny, do you want to read through the super chats and then if there's any, and then I'll just go through the last 5 episodes where they'll be at.
That's it for super chats, unless something else comes in too late. But that's it.
Well, I guess I can preview us for next week. I can't announce guest lineups for any of these, but we got 5 weeks left of the show before we end it off for this season. So I just want to let you know where we'll be at October 14th, next Wednesday, my channel. October 21st. We do have a guest lineup for that one, but we're not going to say who he is just yet. Is on Danny's channel. Actually, we have guests for October 28th on my channel. Not going to say that one either. And November 4th on Danny's channel. And then finale, November 11th, right after Phoenix, going to be on Eric's channel. So we'll probably, I said I was going to tweet it last week. I'll definitely tweet it this week. We'll put it on our Twitters, on our community tabs, just letting you guys know where we'll be at. So you guys can plan ahead to make sure you don't miss any of the last 5 episodes, because I'm pretty sure you won't want to miss any of them, like from the 21st to the 11th. I'm just saying that now.
Yep.
I don't usually like simp for the podcast or anything, but from what Jarrett told me, what's in the works, you guys are going to watch it. You're going to want to watch it. It's going to be pretty cool. If even half the stuff comes through, it'll be worth it.
You heard it from Slap.
Yep. Slap approved by Slap.
I guess that's it. So who wants to go first in telling everybody in the chat, all 306, 7, 8 watching, it just keeps going up every time I say something. Who wants to tell everybody where they can find you? Nobody.
I'll go. You can find me at Jinsey Stinson on Twitter.
Next.
I'm Claudia Nicole 14 on Twitter, so
Claudia had to look it up.
I was gonna say I don't even pay attention. Like I got a Twitter in high school and didn't really get on it until like the last year. But that's my NASCAR outlet. Like my Facebook and Instagram is like for personal use, but Twitter is where I put on NASCAR stuff. I'm like, what is it?
Yep.
You could find me simping for Mark Martin at pretty much everything on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, you know.
And then you can find me on this channel here you're on. Make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already.
And then I'm the Iceberg. Y'all know who I am at this point. So, Danny, you want me to get us out of here?
Yeah, some of y'all might want to hold your ears here.
For the mic quad.